hot Melbourne. It's fantastic night. Let's get straight into it. I don't, as you know, do these calls that often. And when I do a focus call, it's because there is a specific reason. And so let me launch straight into it. I'm going to refer to some notes, which those of you who have been on calls know that I rarely do. But the reason I'm going to do that is it's important and I don't want to miss out on anything. So let's get straight into it. People often ask me, why do I go to so many Herbalife events? Why do I always go to so many meetings? In the last week, maybe I've been to 7 or 8, maybe 9 meetings with Bianca, some by myself. She's gone to some meetings. I've gone to some. We've gone to some together. And we continue to do that. Look, surely after 26 years, you'd think I know what to do. I know how to motivate and teach others what to do. And certainly given the results we've achieved in this last 12 months, that assumption would be clear. Let me sort of answer the question and let me share with you a secret. I do what I ask my people to do. I do what I ask my people to do, and I expect them to do what I do. And therefore, I always operate on this premise. If I help my people achieve their goals in the best and quickest way possible, then what I want simply happens anyway. I go to lots and lots and lots of events, and I say, especially in the first quarter of every year, and I encourage my people to do the same. And let me explain for why. I found, and if we can just go to the next slide, I found that people will achieve, basically, they won't achieve more than what their unconscious mind or subconscious mind will allow them to achieve. Even though some people will go through periods of success, eventually their unconscious mind is going to readjust their activities to suit where their unconscious mind sits. They may go through great periods of success, but eventually that sort of computer card is going to turn back and they'll live out the script that they were given when they were younger. This is your unconscious mind, your self-image. It pretty much controls all of the results. People will achieve about what they expect, and you cannot, if we go to the next one, you cannot draw to yourself that which your unconscious or subconscious mind repels. And look, I've seen people who have attempted to succeed over the years in isolation without going to meetings. And I've seen people have periods of success, but I can tell you what happens is that which is buried deep within their unconscious eventually comes to the fore. This is why I go to so many meetings. This is why I go to major events. This is why it's so important. This is, in weight management, for example, somebody gets on the program, they lose a lot of weight, but their unconscious mind, their subconscious mind sees them as an overweight person. And by and by, you'll get that phone call. Look, I can't afford to sell the products, or my husband doesn't want me to be this slim. I know you'll laugh at that, but I've actually heard that. And all that is their unconscious mind controlling the results that they get. And I want to come back to why these events are so important. My mentor, Al Lorenz, and it still is the person that guides me through his actions a lot. I'll cut this story fairly short because we're limited with time. I said to him a long time ago, what was the secret to success? And this is what he said. The secret to success in this business, I'll quote him, he said, is the art of promotion. And I had to grill him on what the heck he meant by the art of promotion. This is what he said. He said, in our business, we work towards something, a goal, a meeting, a qualification, an event, a school. He said, you work hard, you go outside your comfort zone. You talk to people that you may not have had the confidence to talk to in the past. You work harder than you worked before. You take more product than you've taken before because you're going to sleep less and you're going to talk to more people. So you work hard, you qualify for the event. Now, the working hard and doing more than what you've done before causes you to grow, causes you to become bigger, causes you to become better, causes you to have a higher expectation. You attend that event. Within that event, whatever that event might be, you're going to associate with people who have done exactly the same, who have also stretched. And so you become part of a unit, part of a growing, developing, working towards end result style of unit. And that is what he said. He said, and then you go back to your previous world, your previous environment. And the things which held you back before will never hold you back again. And I can tell you that has been an absolute secret in my business. I want to talk about our spectacular that's coming up just in a couple of weeks, 12 days to go to our spectacular. This spectacular is, I'm going to refer to some notes, is going to be very, very, very different to any spectacular that any of us on this call, and in fact, I suspect most people in Herbalife have ever experienced, in the sense that it's going to be very much a royalty-driven. It will certainly cover off on all components of the business, no question about that, but it will be very much a royalty-driven organizational development, financial freedom, becoming free style of spectacular. You know, again, sure, we're going to cover retail and we're going to do a great product training and so on. I'm going to go through some of the topics in a moment. But what it's going to do is show every single person in that organization, that room, the thousands of people who are going to be in that spectacular in Adelaide in 12 days' time, it's going to show every single person there how to move. And you got the note. I said show, not tell. Show from experience, show from real live testimonials of real live stuff. It's going to show everybody how to move to the next pin. And we're going to have a very strong focus on making the issue for 2018, 2019 going forward, the position of Active World Team as the secret ingredient for all of our organizations to grow forward. Okay, I want to go through a couple of things. I want to talk about what you're going to learn. I can go to that one, please. Next one, what you're going to learn. I'm going to talk about some of the topics. Then what I'm going to ask is a couple of the people who have used the spectacular, the last spectaculars, to grow their businesses. There's just some of the things. By the way, I have the schedule in front of me. This schedule has taken months and months and months to work on, and I'm just going to go through some of the topics that we're going to cover off on. On the Friday, for the Active World Team School training, we're going to have an Inner Circle leadership team development meeting. And Kim Bromer, by the way, is going to do a session on what an ideal Herbalife operative looks like, talks like, operates like. I really can't wait for that section. Then Enrique, our incredible guest, by the way, I've been on some calls with Enrique just in the last couple of weeks, and I can tell you, I was staggered by the maturity, the clarity, the strength, the empathy, the compassion this guy has. You know, I've been to a lot of workshops, obviously. I've never heard anybody with this clarity, and he's only been in the business for 7 years. It's almost like he's been in the business 7 years, but he somehow was working with Mark Hughes beforehand. You will be, I'm sure everybody is going to be as impressed as me when they listen to our special guest. So Enrique on the Friday is doing a session, A Road to President's Team. I can't wait for that section. I will be sitting in the front. Sure, I'm President's Team, but I can't wait to learn from that. In the afternoon, we're doing a session. In fact, one of our special guests, Emily, is doing a session on developing a royalty income. Really, the nuts and the bolts of how to do that. I'm going to go through this quickly. We've got a session on the vision for the future, and I'm doing that one actually. On the Saturday morning, we're going to in-depth for with the Enrique section, exactly what he did to get where he is, his background, the steps, the nuts and bolts. It's going to be a great session. Then we've got stuff like, by the way, interestingly enough, we're doing a special product development training, not anything like you've seen, not like STS, not anything like that, talking about how individuals have had extraordinary results from across the board, a broad spectrum of people talking about the results that they're going to get. We've got a section with Enrique talking about the business essentials, core elements of growing a business, how to get results, how to talk, conversation starters, how to actually invite. I'm reading through this, I'm getting excited. We've got a section on marketing tips, the power of duplication. It is rammed, packed full. Vision, personal development section with Enrique on the Sunday, and so on and so on and so on. Literally, how to work locally and think globally. Even though we've put the schedule together, I must tell you, I'm really, really excited about the topics that we're going to be covering off on. You will walk out of that school with the knowledge, the inspiration, and the information to be able to move to the next pin, maybe the next 2 pins through 2018. I'm just going to ask a couple of people to come online, and I'm hoping this all works now, to share what they have achieved through attending previous spectaculars. So firstly, if we can ask Jesse Merritt to come online. Are you there, Jesse?
Sure am, George. Hope you guys are all having a great night. So as George mentioned, I've been to a few major events, but the last major event was really key because it was that major decision before I went to that event to really, enough was enough. And it was really that difference to come back and actually hit the ground running and be able to do those things, like George said, that you couldn't do before you went, that you could come back and do. Speak to the people that you couldn't speak to, do all those things that I couldn't do. But the difference for me was that event was actually in America. So we personally had to refinance for that particular event for me to go there. This one is obviously, it's only an hour away from Melbourne. It's so cheap, the flights at the moment, and I'm really clear on what I'm doing to go and get out of that particular event. But just to touch on what's happened since my last major event, I honestly went to that event with nothing happening, absolutely none of the components of Active World Team happening. And just as of 2 days ago, I just ticked off the last little bit of that component of the 3 components of Active World Team. So that just speaks volumes for what a major event can do for you and your business if you choose to make that change. Thanks, George.
Good stuff. Thanks, Jesse. I'm going to ask Chantel Ballet, are you there? Hello, is it me you're looking for? Chantel? Okay, Chantel, we don't have you, or we can't hear you. Now, Emily, have we got you online? Can we hear back from you, Em?
Yes, I'm here, G. I'll try and go back to Shani in a moment. But I guess I'm just wanting to share on behalf of all the skeptical partners, because I remember when Mark came home, we'd only been in the business for just a couple of weeks, and he'd had one of his many phone calls with George and with Phil, and came home and said to me, so, hun, not only do we have to qualify World Team this month, but I have to get on a plane to Macau. And I just said, well, no and no. And you can imagine the heated discussions, but in the end, we trusted our mentors because they knew our goals, and that goal was to get along to the next major event. And I wish it was as close as Adelaide, but, Mark got on the plane to Hong Kong with $5 in his pocket and a can of Formula One shake. And to be honest, I remember the phone call back home at the end of the first day, and there was really, really loud music. It still makes me emotional. You can probably hear it in my voice. Mm-hmm. There was such loud music and I could hardly hear him. And I was just at home thinking, we've just lost $500,000 and you're in Hong Kong partying it up with these guys I don't even know. But the sound of Mark's voice, the conviction in his voice, the belief from everything that he had experienced in just one day at that major event, I can tell you hand on heart has absolutely changed our future, changed our life. And, that event gave us the emotional charge and the vision to put a business plan into action, get moving and completely, change our life. So we were Get Team within 6 months, earning over $10,000 a month. And, if anyone is a skeptical partner, I'm with you, I hear you, but just borrow our eyes and, have a listen to what George is saying on the call, because it could be that sliding doors moment for you too. So
thanks, Em. Oh, yes, I remember the timings. Hey, I'm just going to check. Are we able to get a hold of Shani? Chantel, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, wow. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you so much. I'm actually really excited to share. So sorry if you can hear my baby screaming in the background. But look, a lot of you guys may know, look, I was on my program for 2 years before I went to my first Adelaide Spectacular. I love the nutrition. I was a bit scared about the whole business side of things, but I had started to share the nutrition with some people, like some family and friends. I was helping some people at the hospital, like the guys that I was was working with and getting some great results. And like, I didn't have any clue about what I was doing at that time. I also had a very skeptical husband. So I know Emily just mentioned then about the skeptical husbands, but mine was as well. So, I mean, you know, I've been on the program for 2 years and he just thought it was a weight loss thing. Anyway, so I made the small decision to go to that Adelaide Spectacular, and I went with my best friend. It was just, you know, didn't think much of it. I had a baby at home, and I just went along, and I wasn't sure what I was going to expect, but what I saw there and what I felt at that event, I can't even explain it to you, but it just completely changed everything that was going on in my head. I saw things that I never thought I'd see. And I came out of that event with so much vision and so much belief. Like going from this little hobby business that I was kind of doing, earning a couple of $100 a week, to coming out of that event, the energy that I had to go and speak to my husband and share with him what I'd seen, it actually got him in the room with George. So from that, Paul then decided to come on board, and, you know, within the next, 8 months, we went from that world team to global expansion team. I was pregnant, and, I was earning around that $2,000 per week. So I had replaced my full-time nursing income. I was working part-time before, replaced my full-time nursing income. And to have that option when I went on maternity leave, to be able to have the choice that, I was going to have the income my whole mat leave, and to not have to go back to work if I didn't want to at the end of that, it completely has changed my life, our life. And I'm so grateful for that event. I'm so glad that I made the decision to go. It was the best fun ever. And seriously, I cannot wait for this one. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. And, if you got anyone who's sitting on the fence, the least that you get out of the weekend is having a really bloody good time. But, it could possibly change your life just like it has mine. So I'm just excited so.
Oh,
over to you, George.
thanks, Shani. Thanks, everybody. I know we get over 20, 30, 40 people sharing their results, and I can sit and listen to those results. But guys, do you realize that within a couple of weeks, you will be talking to your partner, your friend, your mum, your dad, the people, those little skeptical little people that, oh, what are you doing? You'll have that same conviction, that same attitude. I want to move on. For the people who are already involved in the business, and for the new people on this call, this won't make a lot of sense, and you can read what I can see in front of me, but there's a couple of things that you really need to look at and qualify for. You can see the qualification period, November through end of January, 18,000 volume points accumulated in any 3-month period, any 90-day calendar 3-month period during this time. 18,000, and you might have noticed I've just skipped 15,000. 18,000 is going to get you into the most amazing party. And I was just looking at this is at the Penfolds Winery, this party. I've been to this winery. I've been to a party at this winery, and I held a Penfolds Grange in my hand, and held the bottle up like that, Penfolds Grange bottle, and I asked them, why do you have gravel? We're in the cellar. I said, why do you have gravel on the floor? And the lady said, well, what you've got in your hand is worth about $25,000, and if it drops on the gravel, there's a good chance it won't break. So I very carefully put it back on the shelf. And I know that may not seem important. To me, it was amazing. This is one of the classiest, most remarkable places you're ever going to be. It's just a place that you're going to remember it. You're going to get the photographs. It will be an extraordinary experience. But 18,000 also gets you the VIP seating. Again, people say, what about the VIP seating? VIP seating, let me tell you what it does. It's going to get you closer to President's team. Everything in life is an affirmation. What you wear is an affirmation. Who you hang out with is an affirmation. Everything we do is either affirming where we were, where we are, or where we're heading. The reason you want to be in the VIP seating is it moves you closer to the front of the room. It moves you closer to President's team. And we say, oh, yes, the seats are more comfortable. And yes, you get some aloe. And yes, you get blah, blah, blah. That's nothing. What it means is you're affirming that you're moving towards the President's team. Remember, you cannot draw to yourself. that which your unconscious mind repels. You cannot do that. So all this is designed to do, guys, is to move you, to get you to see yourself as presidents, to sense president's team, to taste president's team. And obviously, when you see it mentally, it's going to happen physically. And sooner than you could ever have expected, you will move towards that president's team position in our business. You know, I won't talk income, but it's an extraordinary lifestyle that we lead because we have the opportunity to be in that president's team position. That's why the seating is important. 15,000 in this 90-day period, in a 98-day period through the qualification, is going to put you in a situation of doing that. And look, I know that everybody on this call, really, you've already got your ticket. I know that. If you haven't, by the way, get the ticket within 2 minutes of getting off this call. Don't delay. Don't think about it. Oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Look, an action causes other actions to change. And so get the ticket as soon as you can. 7,500 volume. Oh, sorry, before that, thanks, Tim. 7,500 volume in January is going to put you in a situation where you're going to get the photograph with Enrique. Beautiful photograph. And by the way, you bring other people. I forgot what I was saying. You can come by yourself. That's great. Bring people with you. And the reason why, so then you go back as a gang. You don't have to go back and try and re-energize, re-enthuse those people. I'll come back to that in a moment. But when you bring a few people, first line, a few more people, and in this case, when you bring in 10 new people, you're going to get 5, 10 new people. Some people have only got 2 or 3 people in their organization frontline now, but you've got a whole nearly 2 weeks to wear out a telephone to get people into meetings, which I'll talk about in a moment, and you're going to get a really classy photograph of Enrique. Oh, photograph of Enrique. What does that mean again? It means that you are affirming. Remember I said right in the beginning, I expect my people to do what I do. I don't ask them to do anything that I am not working at doing. I'm not saying I'm the best at anything, but I give everything my best shot. You want to build a business? Do the things that you want your organization to do. Qualify by bringing more people. Get the photographs, get the seating. God, I'm excited. Get to the party, because that's what your people are then going to do. They're going to do what you do, not what you tell them to do. This is the secret to building financial freedom within our business. You don't have to go, 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 go. You just go, and they will go anyway. And I want to come back to the party. By the way, we've got this unbelievable Latin party on Saturday night. We've already worked out what we're going to wear. God, we're going to look so damn cool. This is a... Slow down, George. This is going to be one of those parties, one of those classy events at Spectacular, again, that you're going to talk about when you get back. There are going to be people talking about this party for a long time. Just imagine what some of the girls are going to be wearing, some of the guys are going to be wearing. I know there's going to be a couple of guys from Queensland wearing sombreros, because that's what they wear already anyway. And there's going to be a couple of guys from South Australia wearing ponchos, because that's what they wear anyway in South Australia. Over from, I'm going to not say anymore because I'm going to be in serious trouble if I keep going, but wear your classiest Latin gear, because we're going to be doing Latin dancing and salsa. And I know there's a whole bunch of you practicing, some of you dancing already, and I can't wait. Let me move on. Guys, what do we do? What do we do between now and Spectacular? What do we do during Spectacular? What do we do after Spectacular? Take some accurate notes here. Firstly, make sure you've got your ticket. On this call, there is no excuse. Look, I've got my brother's birthday. Go to his next birthday. I've got to do such and such. Cancel it. I can tell you, we are where we are, what we are, because the dominating thoughts which occupy your mind, if you want to be somewhere different, you've got to do something different. Don't keep doing what you've been doing, because you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. We buy our stories. But you know something? This is simply the most critical thing that will happen to you in 2009 to 2018. This can change your life forever. So what you do between now and then, make sure you've got your ticket. Number 2, list down the people that you're going to speak to, not tomorrow, but wear out a telephone tonight. Get on the phone to people and say, listen, I've just come off a call. Let me tell you what's going to happen and why you need to come along. You've heard Chantel. You've heard Jesse, you've heard Emily, and you've heard me. There is no logical reason for somebody not to be there. There is no logical reason for somebody not to be there if they seriously want to have a better life, a better future. So list the people down, get on the phone. Third thing, make sure that you're attending every single event in your area between now and Spectacular. Don't leave it all on Spectacular. Get the people to tomorrow night, to Monday's meeting, to Thursday's meeting, to Saturday's meeting, to Monday's meeting, to Sunday's meeting, because then other people are going to be talking about Spectacular, and they are the ones who are going to be talking to your people instead of you. You know as well as I do, half your friends don't listen to you. Get them into an environment where somebody else is going to be speaking to them. And obviously every single meeting between now and Spectacular, you know, we're not going to wear out. Yes, we are. We are going to hit Spectacular focus like you've never seen, with all the reasons and all the benefits and the whys and the hows, and what people are going to get from it. So all you got to do is put them into these events. And this is very important. When you arrive at Spectacular, when you're sitting in that meeting, I want you to have this calm feeling that you've done your best in getting whoever it was possible to get to that event, the mother, the brother, the cynical uncle, whoever it is. You're sitting there saying, there's not one other person that I could have called. I did my best. And even if it's only 8 people, fantastic. If it's 6 people, if it's 23 people, it doesn't matter the number, because you're sitting in that environment and you are going to be hearing the best information, the most inspirational information, and you're going to have half a dozen, 10, 12. Wouldn't it be great if every one of you had the 10 people so you all got the photograph with Enrique? But you know you're going to do your best. But before you get on the plane to come to Adelaide, or before you drive, if you're from Adelaide, to that event, you got to make sure that you've got your Monday evening or your Tuesday evening event really packed. You're going to be talking to people not about the event. Once the event starts, you're going to be talking about the next event, which is going to be the next meeting, the next school, the next fit club, whatever event, whatever gathering there is, where people can have testimonials about what they learned from the event for those poor few who weren't able to make it. So what you do before, get registered yourself. List the people you're going to call them, go to every event. Before the event, be in a situation, this is before you get on that plane, make sure you've got your next event post-meeting set up. In the event, sit there with that calm feeling. You've done your best. Make sure you're in every event writing a lot of notes, but make sure your people are starting to talk to other people within the group. This is how I built business all around the world, because I get my people to talk to other people who talk to other people who are all smarter than me. That's how I've done it. And then you come back, don't be having a holiday in Adelaide, hit that plane Sunday night, get to the meetings, get plenty of sleep when you're away, or take lots of guarana, and do your best to make sure that the meeting after the Spectacular is the biggest meeting that you've ever had. Okay, nearly finished, guys. Yep, I pretty much covered it. Guys, this is what I want you to do. I want you to just sense for just 1 minute. I want you to sense that this is not 2018 beginning, that it's 2019 beginning. And I want you to get the feeling that we've just completed the 2019 Spectacular. And I want you to visualize yourself on stage, some of you getting your Millionaire Team pin, some of you getting your President's Team pin, some of you getting your President's Team 15K pin in 12 months' time. And I want you to have the feeling right now to sense, what is it going to be like to know that you've just had the biggest year of your life, that you're financially stable, that you've had your family engaged in what you're doing, they're supporting what you're doing, you're looking fantastic because you've been doing the product correctly, you've grown personally, you have that sense of control of your financial future like you've never had before, and you will reflect back to this day, this very day. I'm talking about right now as the day that you started to turn your life around. I know some people think I'm over the top on this. This is exactly what happened to me. I attended an event just like what's coming up in 11 days' time, and within 2 years, I'd achieved the goals that I'd set for myself when I was a young guy and worked my guts out for 20 years and hadn't achieved. I achieved in 2 years what I was unable to achieve working my guts out for 20 years, and was able to build that financial wall around myself this incredible sense of security in the knowledge that you've made the right decisions, you put in the right actions at the right time, at the right place. This will be the best year you've ever had, based on the actions, the actual things you do, the people you talk to, the decisions you make, literally from this minute on, over the course of the next 11 days. You can set up the next couple of years by what you do in the next 11 days. This thing is going to change your life, and I can't wait to see you in that room with a big smile on your face saying, hey, he was actually right. Because I can tell you, by lunchtime, those skeptical people, by lunchtime of the Saturday, if the Saturday is your first day in the school, by noon on the Saturday, you'll have sat in that room for 4 hours. I know you will say, this is the smartest thing you have ever done, by making a decision, being there, and being there with other people. You're going to say, not only was it the smartest thing I've ever done, it was even the most smartest thing I've ever done. That was terrible grammar. I can't wait to see you there, guys. I'll see you at the meetings through the course of the next couple of weeks. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for your patience. All the best. Bye-bye.